Hi guys, Jay Kaushal, writer, motivation speaker and life coach, and I'm starting a brand new series about how to communicate effectively. I made a masterclass on this particular topic and that did well. I got good reviews from you guys, and I thought, why not convert it into a full-blown series? That's because communication, I think, is one of the key aspects of our success in this life, of the success of our relationships in this life. It's one of the biggest challenges as well that most of us face in trying to manifest the kind of life that we want. So you can dwell into all of the spiritual aspects. That's great. That's important. But the material plane works with material fundamentals. And for that, communication is one thing that I'd like to believe I have considerable expertise with. And so therefore, there are a lot of things that I can share with you guys that can make a world of difference into your life. Okay? So let's begin. The first thing, the first part is about your intention. When you are communicating anything, could be a presentation, could be a book that you're writing, could be a video that you're making, whatever it is. When you are communicating, the first thing is about your intention. And that intention is about why. Okay? Your why is going to define your level of connect with the other person. It is going to define the efficacy of the communication process. I have distilled them into three distinct, three basic points. You either communicate to educate or to inform or to express. Every other thing is more or less just a subset of these main points, these main sets. You can do something which is a combination of these. In real life, in reality, in the real world, it's always a combination of these things. For example, this video is to educate, but this video is also a part of my expression. The clothes that I'm wearing, the day that I'm shooting, how I'm feeling today, the reason that I felt like making this series. All of this is a part of my expression. So just keep that in mind. You can express whatever you want to express, and there can always be a combination of these factors in whatever you're communicating, but you have to stay loyal to whatever is the primary intention for communicating whatever you're communicating. For example, communicating to educate. This video is a video that I'm making to educate. When you are communicating to educate, as in share information that can lead to the development of skills, knowledge, or know-how, that is education. When you're educating people through the content that you're making, you need to keep in mind that some level of hand-holding is necessary in leading people from the basics to the advanced concepts to the point where they can get into a place where they're able to apply those concepts to reap some results. Education is a process where you are the person who is introducing these ideas to them. So some level of your biases are going to creep in to your delivery, to your lecture, to your material. Because when you're educating, every teacher, every educator, okay, it doesn't matter if you're a teacher or not, just understand, if you are teaching a group of people, or if you're teaching one person or even one person something, you are educating them. So in that process, what you need to understand is that it's very difficult to take an unbiased view of the material. There may be a syllabus in place, definitely. There may be concepts that are underlined that you have to talk about, that you have to teach. But every educator educates from his distinct flavor of that subject, of that topic. Okay? So let's say you have to make a presentation to teach your work group in your company, or teach your team about a new software that you guys are going to be implementing. Let's say it's a productivity software. It's going to track how much time is being wasted in tasks that can be automated, and how much time needs to be allocated more to tasks which are, let's say, human intensive. Okay, so you develop this sort of a software, and you implement it in your company. Now, if you're giving a presentation about this, you do not need to worry about the level of understanding of your audience, about the level of concepts that you're going to put forth. Now, all of that's going to come at the later stage. Primarily, your focus needs to be starting with your narrative, starting with your interpretation, starting with what tricks, what easy, secrets have you been able to discover about the subject matter that you can share with the audience that will expedite their understanding and their learning of the topic. Okay? A lot of people, if you see, they're great professors, they're great lecturers, right? Great, not in terms of how well they are able to educate, but they have all the laurels, they are double PhDs and whatnot. You will see a lot of great people, they aren't great educators. They're not great educators because they are too concerned about being politically right, so to speak, for want of a better phrase, with respect to the course material. So they will go off in a sort of a commentary on the course material and lose the learners in the process. You have to understand that if you are teaching something, then your interpretations, your ideas about that subject matter also have a lot of relevance. That is why you have so many different teachers. That is why you have so many different schools. That is why you have so many different schools of thought. Because a particular subject material may be interpreted, may be looked at, may have been absorbed or thought of very differently by people from the same field. So don't be afraid of adding your narrative, albeit with a disclaimer, to anything that you are presenting, that you're sharing, that you're communicating to educate. Because the primary focus when you're communicating to educate is to expedite the process of learning, to help them grasp a lot of important topics, help them grasp a lot of important points with which they can then seek to build their own understanding of whatever it is that's being talked about. Okay? Now, the second thing is to inform. This is what we can say falls in the category of, let's say, reporting. Unfortunately, we live in times where communicating to inform has become more or less like communicating to educate. You see so many reporters out there, you see so many news channels. They're not trying to inform you, they're trying to build a narrative and teach you and educate you a particular way of doing things, a particular way in which society should be run, rights that we should or should not have, issues that we should or should not raise our voice on. Okay? But good reporting, good communication that enables the delivery of information, whether through a blog, video, even a reel, anything, even a novel, right? Because a non-fiction novel can also do the task of informing, sharing your story, something of that sort, like a biography. So whenever you are informing, you have to understand that you being unbiased in your delivery of the information is imperative for the accurate portrayal of the subject matter. As soon as you begin to interfere, and some interferences will still creep in, no matter how much you try, some interference will still creep in because of biases, because of biases that people may have towards a particular platform. For example, if you are a great reporter and you are, let's say, reporting some sort of an event on Instagram, and that's where people see you first, instead of, let's say, a proper YouTube channel or a news channel on television, you are less likely to be taken seriously, because there are biases that work in people's minds. That is why brands matter. That is why names matter. That is why the delivery as well matters. We'll come to that later. So you have to keep this in mind. But you still, for the sake of efficient information, if you are communicating, right? If that's your intention, for the sake of efficient transfer of information, it is your job to stay as unbiased as possible in delivering that content, which means relying more on facts, figures, relying more on actual verifiable events or quotations or citations, and leaving it up to or the audience as such to draw their own conclusions, to arrive at their own inferences with the facts that have been given to them. Okay? Now, the third point is to express. This is something which is going to form the bulk of communications that you see in the world. It's your expression. Okay? The human need to express is what led to the development of language, is what led to the development of cave paintings. Because our primary need is a need to communicate what we are feeling, what we are undergoing in this physical experience in the material world. So communicating to express can be blogging, can be creative writing. Communicating to express can be, vlogging. Communicating to express can even be picking up a debate, challenging somebody else's narrative. Okay? Challenging somebody else's research, challenging somebody else's information. All of that falls under the category of communicating to express. When you are communicating to express, the only way that communicating to express makes sense if you are being true to yourself. For example, in the first category, to educate, you have to be true to the only principle, which is to make the people that you are sharing the information with, to educate them in a way that they can grasp the concepts and start applying them. Concepts that they cannot apply are concepts that are useless. As an educator, your job is to give them whatever you can so that they can start applying it on their own. When you're informing, your job is to give them the facts, figures, give them whatever unbiased information you can and let them build their own narratives. When you are expressing, when you're communicating to express, your primary focus is yourself. I am communicating because of me. I am communicating because I felt I should communicate. Because that is a right which has been given to me by society. And even if society were not to give me that right, I will claim that as my own, because communicating is my birthright. The only thing that you need to keep in mind here is, when you're communicating to express, it's a good idea to allow yourself to flow and then edit those things later on. Because what is considered healthy expression in one society may not be considered healthy expression in another society. That's why I always edit videos later on as well, to edit out anything that I feel is taking away from the primary focus of this communication. Okay? So that's what I have for the first part. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up. If you did, subscribe to the channel so that you can stay abreast of all the wonderful content that I post here. I post a lot of different kinds of content, so you might want to customize that notification bell. And if you want a personal session with me, you can always, get that by following the link given in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments. Adios.